The hatchery business is good to get into, but a lot of information is needed beforehand. However, as small-scale farmers, you don't have to wait until you purchase a hatchery. Your chicken can lay on their eggs naturally to hatch. When choosing eggs to hatch, select eggs from breeders that are mature and healthy. Avoid excessively large or small eggs because large eggs hatch poorly and small eggs produce small chicks. Avoid eggs with cracked or thin shells. These eggs have difficulty retaining moisture needed for proper chick development. Keep only clean eggs for hatching.
Now, it's really warm, or hot, I would say, in here. Hata kule ndani hali kuku ziko kulikuwa na joto, lakini nikitoka nje it's a bit cool. And I'm guessing this area, because we are in Ngong area, kuna hiyo baridi. So hata hii pia ni machine kivyake kama incubate.
Well, I knew I was building in a cold place, and chicken needs warmth. I needed to be able to control the temperatures within the incubator. So what I did is I had seen this sort of construction out of this country, and I realized I could build with earth bags. These earth bags, what you do is you fill in the soil inside them, and you use them like the building blocks. Yes, that's what I did. It's quite fun.
Wait, so is structure haina mawe ndani?
No, there is no stones. Yes. It does two things. It's controlling temperature, but it's also controlling noise. Chicken get bothered so much
by
when there's noise.
Yes.
They get stressed. So if any noise coming directly from the wall will not get the chicken.
Daktari, how important is the heat for the chicken itself, even the high temperatures?
What he has done is what we call biosecurity, to control the environmental temperature, so that the birds do not use the feed he gives them to keep themselves warm. So you regulate that temperature, because if it's not regulated, on very cold days, these birds would be using the feed meant for egg production to keep themselves warm.
Inakula ndio isikie joto.
Ndio isikie joto.
Badala ya kukula itage mayai.
Itage mayai. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So after they've hatched, that's when you bring them here.
Yes. Yeah.
So now they are ready.
Usually, but before they come here, we got to do the grading.
Nice. Yes. Can I see? Touch them.
Yes, you may.
So let's do the math, Mr. Muiruri. Now tell me, first of all, how many chicks are these?
These are 100.
100 chicks.
We put them 25 in each.
Yes.
4 components.
Now, how much do you sell one chick for?
The day-old chick, we sell it at 100 shillings.
100 shillings,
yes.
day-old.
Yes.
So that means sometimes you can sell them even beyond one day?
Yes.
And
when we call it brooding, we can brood it. When we keep it for a week, we sell it at 150 shillings. Yes.
Oh, all right, okay. Now, how many chicks do you hatch, say, every day or every week?
Currently, we are harvesting, we've now reached 1,500. But we are getting to 2,400.
So 1,500 chicks times 100 shillings, that's 150,000 every week.
Yes.
Now, how much would you say is your expense in every week? Approximately. Approximately,
there are different costs.
Yeah.
There is a cost of the egg, which last time we calculated right from the feeding of the breeder flock and the care of it. We found that an egg costs us about 14 shillings.
To get the egg?
To get the egg.
Okay.
Then there is a process of the incubation. When you add up the cost, the labor, the electricity.
And
electricity is actually a major cost in incubation.
Okay.
We find our cost to produce one chick goes to about 43 shillings.
43?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, say probably 50 shillings to get one chick.
Yes.
And for one chick, you sell it at 100 shillings.
Yes.
So that is 100% profit.
It's
100% markup. Dr. Gashiro, you have taken a walk around the farm, probably. So according to your own assessment, what are some of the general things that you've observed about this farm?
One thing that I noted that was very commendable was the fact that Bwana Mwiruri has what we may want to call a sick bay, where he has kept birds that have problems separate from the others.
Mwiruri Poultry General.
Which is good.
Yes.
In that, like, some of the birds we have here are those which have wounds.
Yeah.
And should he have left them in there, they would
have been preyed on even more.
On even more.
Yeah.
So that's one that I noted. But in general, I want to say the most common conditions that we see around would be conditions like coccidiosis, Newcastle, Guboro, maybe avian leucosis, and maybe a few others, but these are among the most common.
Cannibalism is a problem that is associated with large poultry flocks. This can result in significant mortality within the flock when a wound is generated, and it will also cause a decrease in egg production as the hen-pecked birds become stressed. It is a vice which is usually precipitated by some aspects of management or environment which the birds are subjected to, and sometimes also attributed to dietary causes. You have this at the entry of every flock. Yes.
This helps to control spreading of any infection that may be
Okay.
from one flock to the other. So this is where we keep chicks. This is, as you can see, majority are weak. Now, to prepare them for this, what we do, we mix glucose with some liquid paraffin. We also have a broad spectrum antibiotic, and we place them here for 3 days. So for 3 days we ensure that they are on antibiotic.
Okay.
And after that we will withdraw the antibiotic and introduce a probiotic. What we say chicken microbes. So that's what we do. And within a period of 1 week, that chick is strong, healthy, and can be sold as a 1-week-old chick. Can even be kept. Some of them we've kept them.
Okay. Interesting. Daktari,
Quite a bit of silly.
What would you say more on that? On what Mr. Mwiruri is doing?
These chicks would have been lost.
Yes, and there are quite many.
And there are quite many.
Yeah.
There are 60 of them here.
And the cost involved is minimal.
Yeah.
So this is actually a very commendable thing Mr. Mwiruri is doing. Yeah.
Making sure hujapoteza chochote.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is where you have the chicks, and then I see you have other chicken around here.
Yes.
These are a bit older.
This room we use it When we have no chicks, we use it as an isolation room as well.
Okay.
And these are chicks that we had after they suffered from respiratory disease.
Okay.
We placed them on an antibiotic that helps to correct that. And as it stands now, they have recovered fully. Yes.
Okay. Is this a good measure, Doctor?
Isolation is a good practice.
Yes.
But the location may not be very good, considering that we have weak chicks next to birds that had a respiratory problem.
I see.
The distance would have been, there should have been, the chicks should have been kept away from the isolation ward.
Otherwise they might end up getting infected.
They also the chicks may end up getting respiratory condition.
Right. So at least that's something to note.
Yes.
Mr. Murore.
Act upon.
Yeah. Okay. Despite the challenges, with the right information, there are endless opportunities in farming.